Hello everyone, dear friends. In this video, we will be trading using the best 3-second strategy. This is the fastest, simplest, and most highly effective 3-second strategy. So make sure to watch this video until the end. It's going to be very interesting. I will tell you how to trade using this strategy, which situations are better to skip, and in which moments you absolutely must enter a trade. And don't forget about my Telegram channel. In my Telegram channel, I share daily reports on trading sessions with the team in the VIP channel. Here's a report from the latest trading session. Here, we secured 9 profitable trades. By the way, we trade twice a day on weekdays and once a day on weekends. I also share my life in my Telegram channel and regularly hold giveaways. And here's a report on the latest giveaway. Here, the winner received $1,000. I've also created free educational material for beginners in trading. It's completely free. In other words, I'm not selling anything. If you want to get access to the educational material or join the VIP channel, you can simply go to my Telegram channel and send me a direct message. Here's my contact. So let's move on to trading. To trade with this strategy, the first thing you need to do is set the duration of each trade to 3 seconds. It is essential to do this on OTC currency pairs. Today the amount for each trade will be $200. Now we need to add a 5-second time frame. In other words, this strategy is traded on a 5-second time frame. Our trades will last 3 seconds each. Right now, at this moment, we need to add OTC currency pairs to our favorites, because today we'll have to switch between currency pairs very frequently and quickly in order to use this strategy effectively. Be sure to add OTC currency pairs, because with OTC currency pairs you can open short-term trades, meaning trades of less than 1 full minute in duration. So let's see, I think that's enough. Let's just add this one and that's it. Now let me explain the essence of this strategy. With this strategy, we need to find either an uptrend or a downtrend. And if we have an uptrend, we need to wait for a red candle with a lower shadow, and after this candle closes, open a trade upwards for 3 seconds. Or if we have a downtrend, we need to wait for a green candle with an upper shadow, and after this candle closes, open a trade downwards at the close of this candle. So the strategy is extremely simple. It doesn't require any technical analysis or anything else. Absolutely anyone can replicate it. Now we need to find a good moment to enter. We can see that there is a downtrend. Now we need to wait for a green candle with an upper shadow, and after this candle closes, open a trade downwards. Here we see that there is no upper shadow, so we do not open a trade. Here, the overall market trend has already started to shift in direction, so now we need a red candle with a lower shadow. And after it finally closes, we can execute a long trade upwards. Let's wait for such a moment now. Alright. I opened it by accident, of course. The trade went through successfully, but my dear friends, I must admit I made a bit of a mistake just now, though we were very lucky that the trade was successful anyway. So let's go ahead and change the currency pair right now and see if we can find another good opportunity. Alright, let me take a moment to find a really good entry point now so I can show you this trading strategy in much more detail. So here we can see that we have an upward trend. We need to wait for a red candle with a lower shadow, and after this candle closes, open a trade to go up. That's exactly what we just did. And our second trade is also profitable. So looking at the chart, it appears likely that a trend reversal to the downside might be forming right now. So it's probably better to skip the next trade here. Yes, a trend reversal has definitely started. So we are skipping this trade for now. That is, with this strategy, you need to determine as clearly and accurately as possible whether the trend is upward or downward. If you don't know how to do this, it's better to check out my training material. It's completely free. There I explain in detail how to identify a downward or upward trend. So let's switch to another currency pair and find another good moment to open the next trade. Alright, this particular setup doesn't suit us. Let's patiently wait for a good moment to open the next trade. Let's switch over to this chart. Alright, let's take a closer look. Yes, right here, it looks like we most likely have a strong upward trend going on. There is a slight downward correction happening right now, but the overall trend is definitely still upward for the time being. So, let's move on from this. Let's switch over to a much simpler situation. Right here, we have a clear downward trend currently forming, but since there's a support level here, It's also highly advisable to refrain from opening any trades in this specific area. So if there is no support or resistance level nearby where you're opening a trade, you can proceed to safely and confidently open your trades there. In such situations, it's better to skip them because the price might move in the opposite direction. Alright, let's switch to another currency pair, to a different one. This one doesn't suit us either. Here we have a downward trend. Let's open the next trade here. Now we need the green candle with a shadow on top, and as soon as it closes, we open a trade for a decrease. Alright, one trade closed at a loss. It's nothing to worry about. We opened the next trade because we had a green candle close with a very large shadow on top, so we opened the next trade, and this trade closed in profit. We earned $384. So now once again, we patiently wait for a green candle with a shadow on top, and after it closes, we can execute a short trade to go down. Now we see that a distinct technical pattern has clearly formed here. This specific pattern is called a triangle. Let me mark it here. Alright, like this. So right here we have a very clear support level that the price is currently reacting to. And right over here, we can also see this kind of consistent downward trend forming. So at this particular moment, it is quite risky to open any new trades because the price could easily go either up or down from here. That is, right here, the price will either bounce off the support level and experience a sharp movement upward, or it will bounce off our trend line and continue its downward descent. So this situation can be unpredictable, so let's switch to another currency pair. Let me also say right away that with this strategy, you absolutely cannot hesitate. Because the strategy is very fast, the time frame is 5 seconds, and our trades close in 3 seconds. Here, you absolutely cannot be late for a trade. That is, as soon as the candle closes, you need to immediately open a trade for a decrease or an increase, depending on the situation. So, let's find another opportunity to open our next trade. Here we see that there is a downward trend. We wait for a green candle with an upper shadow. There is no shadow here, so we do not open a trade. So, right now, we are patiently biding our time for the right moment to enter. The market today is of course quite volatile. If you look at the long shadows, it indicates that the market is volatile today. Right now the price is at the support level, but it's a bit far, but it might react with an upward movement. We can see that there is some consolidation happening here. The price is very highly likely to start to reverse its trend back upward now, since it simply cannot possibly go any further down. As we can see, the price is currently dropping on an impulse. Let's see if the price will break through our support level or if it will bounce off it. Yes, most likely it has reversed, so let's move to another currency pair. Here is a good moment, there's a strong upward trend going on. Now we wait for a red candle with a lower shadow, and as soon as it closes, we'll open a trade to go up. The most important thing is to wait and not hesitate. Here is the trade. Alright, we are going to open a trade to go up, and our trade successfully went through. We earned $384. That is excellent. Now, let's look to open one final trade for the session. As we can see, there is absolutely no shadow appearing here, which is exactly why we didn't open a trade just yet. Right now, we are patiently waiting for the perfect last moment to execute our final and concluding trade of the day. Alright, will there be a shadow now? No, there's no shadow, so we don't open a trade. It is certainly possible that a trend reversal to a downtrend is forming right now, since we have recently witnessed this kind of pullback downward. Or it could just be a simple market correction. On these specific short-term time frames, it's often quite difficult to accurately analyze the market, but with this particular strategy, if you plan to trade, the only real danger is if you see strong support levels near the place where you are about to open a trade, or perhaps significant resistance levels. And also you must watch out if a major trend reversal begins. Here we can clearly see that something quite weird is starting to happen right now, so let's switch over to another currency pair to find a better opportunity. Here we have a clear downward trend. If we take a much closer look at the chart, there is a distinct downward trend forming here. At this specific point, the price might reverse its direction now. That is, you can see exactly how it is moving. It is moving steadily within a channel from the upper trend line, all the way from the top down to the bottom. But here it's a perfect downward trend. the price goes up, then down. Each high is lower than the previous one, and each low is lower than the previous one. So this is a perfect downward trend. Alright, let's now wait for a green candle with a wick on top, and then act at the close. Oh. I accidentally opened the trade, but luckily this candle closed. Alright, we can open a trade again. I did rush a bit though, it's nothing serious. Let's recover our loss now. Here we can see that the reversal is starting. So the price is gradually making its way back toward our upper trend line. Now, let's wait for a bearish red candle to form. Right here, I completely missed the entry point, so I won't open a trade. Alright, let's switch to another currency pair. With this strategy, as I mentioned before, you'll have to switch between currency pairs frequently. Here we see a downward trend. We're waiting for a green candle with an upper wick, and after it closes, we'll open a trade to go down. Alright, our trade didn't work out. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Now let's patiently wait for another perfect opportunity to enter the market. So at this very moment, we are patiently waiting for the appearance of a solid green candle that features a clear upper wick. Now if this specific resistance level is successfully broken through by the price action, we will likely see a significant trend reversal shifting into a strong upward trend. However, if the price happens to stall right here, which essentially means it stops its current momentum, then the existing downward trend will simply continue its course. But as we can clearly see on the chart before us, the support line has already been broken, so the upward trend is continuing to move forward as expected. That is exactly why we're waiting patiently for a red candle with a lower wick, and we'll open a trade for a price increase. Alright, we've opened 2 trades. And both of our trades were successful. We earned $768. An excellent result, that's the strategy. In other words, it's extremely simple and absolutely anyone can replicate it. If you are truly interested and want to learn this powerful strategy, you can join my official Telegram channel right now, send me a personal direct message, and I will be happy to add you to my professional team for free. I will also give you full access to all of our comprehensive training materials, and there you can study this exact strategy in much more detail to ensure your success. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video, and comment below. The link to my Telegram channel will be in the comments under this video. Goodbye everyone.